Dear chosen one, something inside you has been shifting. You've been feeling it lately, not in your body, but in your spirit. It's a quiet change, one you can't fully explain. You're walking through the world a little differently now, and somehow, people around you are starting to notice. Some pause when you enter the room. Others feel drawn to you. Even strangers may seem curious about you without knowing why. This isn't about beauty in the usual sense. It's not about your clothes, your hair, or how you look. What they're sensing is something far deeper. It's your energy. It's your presence. It's the light that you now carry, a light that comes from deep within your soul. It's not something you're trying to show. It's just there. It's real, and it's growing stronger every day. This kind of glow doesn't come from makeup or from anything external. It comes from God. It's the result of what He's been doing in your life behind the scenes. For a while, you might have felt hidden. You were in a season where it felt like no one saw you, no one truly understood your value. But that was part of the process. God often hides His chosen ones before He reveals them. He works on them in private, shaping them, healing them, preparing them. And now, you're starting to come out of that hidden place. The glow people are noticing is the light of your spirit finally rising to the surface. You're not the same person you were before. You've grown. You've been through hard times. You've let go of things that were hurting you. You've surrendered your fears. You've chosen peace, even when it wasn't easy. And because of all of that, something holy has begun to shine through you. This glow isn't loud. It doesn't scream for attention, but it's strong. It speaks without words. It's the kind of presence that calms a room, that makes people feel safe, that brings light into darkness. And it's not because you're trying to impress anyone. In fact, it's because you've stopped trying. You've learned to rest in who you are. And that quiet confidence is powerful. There's a softness in your eyes now, a strength in your silence. You smile with more meaning. You laugh more freely. And your peace, that deep, unshakable peace, is magnetic. People feel it. They sense it. And whether they say it out loud or not, they're moved by it. That's the power of walking closely with God. He changes you from the inside out. He gives you a new kind of confidence, one that doesn't depend on other people's opinions, one that comes from knowing who you are in Him. You're no longer trying to fit in or please everyone. You're simply being who you were created to be. And that version of you is beautiful, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Because you've been through pain and came out stronger. Because you've forgiven. Because you've healed. Because you've allowed your heart to stay soft when the world tried to harden it. That's what people are drawn to. That's what they see, even if they can't explain it. The most powerful part of this glow is that it's not about you. It's about what God is doing through you. Your life is becoming a light for others. Your presence is starting to lift people. Your words carry more weight now. Even your silence carries healing. That's not something you learned in a book. That's something that came from your connection with the divine. You've stopped reacting to every little thing. You've stopped arguing with people who don't understand you. You've stopped chasing things that aren't meant for you. Instead, you've chosen stillness. You've chosen clarity. You've chosen to protect your peace. And that peace makes you even more magnetic. People may not always know what you've been through, but they can feel the strength it gave you. They can feel the depth in your energy. You walk lighter now because you're no longer carrying the pain you used to. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your steps are more grounded. Your presence is calm. That's what healing does. It changes not just your spirit, it changes your whole being. and healing looks beautiful on you. There's a kind of beauty that goes beyond skin. It's the kind that grows through hard seasons, through nights spent crying out to God, through moments of surrender, through quiet battles no one else saw. And when that kind of beauty begins to shine, it's unforgettable. It doesn't need makeup. It doesn't need filters. It shines all on its own. That's the beauty you're stepping into now. This is your season of becoming. Not because you worked for attention, but because you allowed yourself to be refined. Because you trusted the process. Because you didn't give up. And now, God is revealing you, not just to be seen, but to be used. He's making your presence magnetic so you can carry light to those still lost in darkness. But not everyone will understand your glow. Some may be confused by it. Some may feel uncomfortable. A few might even become jealous. That's okay. Your light isn't for everyone. It's for those who are meant to walk beside you, learn from you, grow with you. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't hide your glow to keep the peace. Shine anyway. You are not becoming more attractive just by accident. You're becoming more aligned with your purpose. And that kind of beauty runs deep. It touches hearts. It awakens something in others. It reminds people of who they could be. And sometimes that reflection will stir things in them, both good and bad. But none of that should stop you from rising. This is not the time to question your light. This is the time to own it. You've spent enough time wondering if you're enough. You've spent enough time waiting for permission. Now it's time to walk boldly, to step fully into who God created you to be. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out, not for ego, but for impact. You were made to carry something divine, something eternal, something that changes lives just by being near it. That's the power you've been given. That's the light you now carry. And the world is ready for it. If your heart is nodding as you read this, if your spirit feels seen, it's because this message found you at the right moment. You're not reading this by chance. You're reading it because you were meant to be reminded of who you are. You were meant to hear these words today. There's no need to chase the spotlight anymore. Your light is already shining. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to pretend. Just keep walking in truth. Keep growing. Keep healing. Keep surrendering. The glow people see on you now, that's your soul finally taking the lead. You're not becoming more beautiful for the sake of being admired. You're becoming more beautiful so that you can serve, love, lead, and inspire. You are the answer to someone's prayer. Your story is someone's hope. Your smile is someone's comfort. Your peace is someone's reminder that God is still real. God is revealing you, not for applause, but for purpose. You're glowing now, from the inside out, and it's just the beginning. There comes a time in your journey when the things you used to dislike about yourself start to feel like treasures. Maybe it's that scar you tried to cover, the laugh that seemed too loud, the birthmark that made you feel different, or even that little flaw you once believed was a mistake. But now, those same things begin to shine. Why? Because you've started to see yourself the way God sees you, not through the lens of the world's shallow standards, but through the truth of who you really are. You're not a mistake. You're not too much. And you're definitely not less than. That scar tells a story of strength and survival. That laugh, it carries joy. That birthmark, that dimple, that imperfection you used to hide, they're not flaws. They're signatures, unique, beautiful marks that tell the world you've lived, felt, grown, and endured. These aren't things to fix. They're things to embrace. You no longer try to fit into a box designed by people who never knew your soul. Instead, you're stepping into the design God had in mind from the beginning. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being real, being honest, being fully, unapologetically you. The more you lean into that truth, the more magnetic you become. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because realness has a glow that perfection can never match. When you start walking in that truth, something shifts. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop explaining your worth to those who were never meant to understand it. You begin to move differently, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You realize you were made for something more, and you start walking like it. There's a quiet power in someone who knows their purpose. Not the kind of power that demands attention, but the kind that makes people stop and look without knowing why. That power doesn't come from trying to be noticed. It comes from knowing you've been chosen. You've been called to something higher, and now you move with intention. Your steps are no longer desperate, they're deliberate. You begin to notice the difference in how people treat you. There's a new respect in their eyes, a sense of curiosity. They might not understand what it is, but they feel it. It's your clarity, your calm, your focus. You're not out here trying to prove anything. You're just living in alignment with who you really are, and it shows. You don't need to announce your growth. It speaks for itself. Purpose becomes your energy, your vibe, your silent introduction. You walk into a room, and people can sense that there's something special about you, even if you haven't said a word. That's the power of spiritual alignment. It creates presence, not performance. As you rise, you also learn the importance of protecting your energy. You become more mindful of what you give your time, your words, and your heart to. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You stop oversharing with people who haven't earned your trust. You stop pouring into spaces that don't pour back into you. You stop trying to explain your light to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. And that shift, it creates mystery. You're no longer as accessible, and that's not a bad thing. It's sacred. It's powerful. The less you share with the wrong people, the more you protect the sacred parts of yourself. You don't need to be everywhere, for everyone, all the time. You're not avoiding people, you're honoring yourself. That kind of discipline is deeply attractive. People start to notice that you have standards. You have boundaries. You don't engage in every conversation or chase every opportunity. You listen to your spirit. You follow your peace. And in doing so, you become magnetic without even trying. You're not cold, you're consecrated. You're not distant, you're discerning. You're not harsh, you're holy. And that makes you powerful. As you fall deeper in love with who you are, you also stop needing external validation. You stop measuring your worth by who loves you or who doesn't. You no longer chase relationships just to feel whole. You realize your first relationship, the one that truly matters, is with God. And once that relationship is strong, everything else starts to fall into place. There's a new kind of love that fills you. A love that doesn't come from others, but from within. You feel full, not because someone is pouring into you, but because you've learned how to pour into yourself. That fullness is rare. It's radiant, and people can't help but be drawn to it. You don't need love to feel valuable anymore, but strangely, love finds you more easily now. That's the paradox. When you're not looking for it, when you're not desperate for it, when you're already whole, love becomes a magnet. But not the kind of love that drains you, the kind that respects you, that sees you, that matches your energy and honors your worth. The truth is, most people are searching for someone to fill their emptiness. But the chosen ones, they've already been filled with divine energy. They don't complete others, they inspire them. They don't beg for love, they attract it. They don't lose themselves in others, they stay rooted in who they are. And that is the real glow up. It's not about changing your looks or fixing yourself to be more acceptable. It's about embracing your spirit, honoring your journey, and walking confidently in your calling. That's the kind of transformation that can't be faked. It can't be bought. It can't be copied. It's real, it's deep, and it's divine. So if people are noticing you more now, if you feel like there's a shift in how the world responds to you, don't shrink. Don't question it. Don't apologize for it. You're not being prideful. You're being seen. And not just seen for your looks or your charm, but for your soul. You're glowing. And it's not because of makeup or compliments or attention. It's because you're aligned. Your spirit is shining through. Your truth is radiating. And your connection to God is undeniable. This kind of glow can't be dimmed. It doesn't fade with trends. It doesn't disappear when people leave. It's rooted in something eternal. And when you carry that kind of light, you start to change the atmosphere wherever you go. People feel better around you. They feel seen, safe, and inspired. They don't always know why, but you do. It's not just your presence. It's your purpose. It's not just your words. It's your energy. You're not just here to be admired. You're here to awaken something in others. So keep shining, chosen one. Keep walking in your truth. Keep protecting your peace. You don't need to compete, convince, or chase. Just keep being you, and the right people, the right moments, and the right opportunities will be drawn to you like a magnet. You were born to glow, not for attention, but for impact. Not to impress, but to uplift. Not to blend in, but to stand out. And your light? It speaks louder than anything you could ever say. Never let the world make you feel guilty for being magnetic. That's not arrogance, it's alignment. That's not vanity, it's vibrational. You're not shining to be seen. You're shining because you've finally seen yourself. And when you do that, when you really step into your power, your purpose, your presence, heaven notices. And so does the earth. You're not just attractive. You're divinely designed.